everyone, in this video we will cover the current affairs. I am Nuzhat Sana. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GK Today Academy app. You can attend the quizzes on this app for better practice, and after that you can also read the detailed explanation of the questions you have missed. For regular updates, please check our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Okay. Also, our latest initiative is UPSC Prelims Test Series for 2021 and 2022 in GK Today Academy app. So if you are appearing in UPSC Prelims, you may consider joining this. So now, without wasting any further time, let's get started. So today we will be discussing most important MCQs for 29th of June 2021. Starting with very first question, which state is implementing SALT program for education which was recently sanctioned by the World Bank? So recently IBRD, means International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, has sanctioned the funds of 1,860 crore rupees for implementing the SALT program. And what does SALT stands for? Supporting Andhra's learning transformation. So this belongs to Andhra Pradesh. And this program basically aims to improve learning outcomes, the quality of teaching practices, and the school management in basic education. So this 5-year-long project is to be implemented from the academic year 2021-22 up to 2026-27. Now apart from it, Andhra Pradesh was also in news because it has decided to set up India's first government-run ambulance network for the animals. So this decision has been taken in order to further boost the animal husbandry as well as the veterinary sector in the state. Also, Andhra Pradesh is your second state to implement the power sector reforms that was put forward by Department of Expenditure, which comes under Ministry of Finance. If Andhra Pradesh is the second state to implement it, can you tell me which one is the first? Please write in the comment section if you know. Question number 2. Who is the composer of the official theme song of the Indian Olympic team of Tokyo 2020? So recently our Union Minister for Youth Affairs and the Sports, who is Kiren Rijiju, has launched the official theme song of the Indian Olympic team of Tokyo 2020. And the song has been named as Tu Thaan Le, and it has been composed and sung by our popular playback singer Mohit Chauhan. So in this event, over 100 athletes are expected to represent India. Now few days back, you'd have heard about a name, Laurel Hubbard. Why? Because she will be the first transgender athlete to compete at Olympics this time. And recently, NZOC, means New Zealand Olympic Committee, has selected her to contest in women's 87 kg category. So actually Laurel does not qualify the important criteria that was needed to compete in the men's category. Hence, she will be fighting in the women's category. Now let's revise some of the important personalities quickly. We have already talked about Rebecca Greenspan. And why she is important? Because she is the first woman to head UNCTAD, means United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Then G.C. Murmu is important because he has been chosen as the external auditor of OPCW, means Organization of Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. Then there is K.R. Gauri, who has been passed away recently, and she is called as Kerala Iron Lady. Then UAE has its first female astronaut, and it's Nora Al-Matroshi. It's not Nora Fatehi, please remember. Then new chairman and MD of SIDBI is S. Raman. Then Mary Kom is important. Why? Because she is the new chairperson of AIBA's Champions and Veteran Committee. Then one last name, Preeti Sinha. It's not Preeti Zinta, it's Preeti Sinha. And she is to lead UNCDF, means United Nations Capital Development Fund. So these were the important personalities which I remember right now. And don't worry, we will revise the rest of them in the further questions. Question number 3. Which country won the inaugural ICC World Test Championship, that is WTC? So recently, New Zealand has beaten the India in the inaugural ICC WTC finals to become the first World Test champion. And this is New Zealand's first ICC title in 2 decades. So New Zealand chased down the 139 run target with 8 wickets in hand during the finals. Now New Zealand was also in news because it is set to launch world's first ever wooden satellite named as Visa Woodsat, and it would be there in the Earth's orbit by the end of 2021. Apart from it, talking about some sport related current affairs, recently veteran athlete Milkha Singh has passed away due to COVID-19, and do remember that he is the only athlete who has won gold in 400-meter race at the Asian Games as well as Commonwealth Games. Apart from it, French Open was in news, and in it Novak Djokovic has won his 19th Grand Slam title in the French Open 2021 in the category of men's single. Can you tell me who was the winner in the women's single in the same game? Also, Australian Open was in news. The winner in the men's single category was again Novak Djokovic, and in the women's category it was Naomi Osaka. Now, Miss Osaka was also in news because she has earlier withdrawn from the French Open, and for which she has been fined also with $15,000. And why had she decided to withdraw? Because she decided to drop the media interaction session because she believes that it was affecting her mental health. Okay. Also, Sunil Chhetri was in news. Why? Because he has recently surpassed Lionel Messi and has become now the second highest active international goal scorer with 74 strikes. And Lionel Messi belongs to Argentina. Okay, so this was the quick revision of your sports related current affairs. Question number 4. As per the United Nations data, what is the estimated number of widows across the world as of 2021? So first of all, we celebrate June 23rd as the International Widows Day. Why? To empower all the women and safeguard the rights of widows. So this special day is aimed at showing the solidarity with women who have lost their partners, and as per the United Nations, there are an estimated 258 million widows around the world, and nearly 1 in every 10 widows live in extreme poverty. Also, few days back, United Nations has published a report titled as Annual Report of Secretary General on Children and Armed Conflict, which is also called CAAC. So as per this report, about 19,300 children, including both boys and girls, have suffered from one or more incidents of grave violations in the year 2020. Also, 1 in every 4 children were affected by these grave violations and other forms of sexual violence, and especially for girls. Apart from it, India has been re-elected to the United Nations ECOSOC, means Economic and Social Council, for the year 2020 to 2024 term. Now question number 5. Tax Inspectors Without Borders is an initiative of UNDP in association with which organization? So recently, the United Nations Development Programme and OECD, that is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, have together launched a joint initiative named as Tax Inspectors Without Borders in Bhutan. So for this initiative, India has been chosen as a partner jurisdiction, and this program aims to aid Bhutan in strengthening its tax administration. Apart from it, the OECD had published its interim economic outlook in the month March, and in this report it has projected that Indian economy will grow at the rate of 12.6% for the financial year 2022. And this rate would have been the highest among all the G20 countries, but later on it has reduced this expectation and said that this time India would grow at the rate of 9.9%. The headquarters of OECD lies in France. Can you tell me how many countries comes under OECD? Please write in the comment section. Also, few days back we have talked about Moody, because recently Moody has expected that India's growth would be at 9.6%. And same scenario is there also Earlier it had said that the growth would be at 13.9%, but now it has reduced it and said it would be at 9.6%, obviously due to second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Question number 6. When is the United Nations Public Service Day observed every year? So every year we celebrate this day on 23rd of June because this day recognizes the role of public service and also recognizes the world of public servants across the globe. And the theme for this year is Innovating the Future Public Service, New Government Models for a New Era to Reach the Sustainable Development Goals. Apart from it, we celebrate our International Olympic Day on 23rd of June and we celebrate International Yoga Day on 21st of June, and also the same day is celebrated as International Day of the Celebration of the Solstice. If you want to know more about the solstice, we have talked a lot in the previous lecture. Please refer to it. Then we celebrate World Refugee Day on 20th of June. Now you have to tell me, when do we celebrate World Milk Day and what was the theme for this year? Question number 7. Which company has launched ePGS, a web-based and workflow-based IT platform? So this has been launched by LIC, which is the state-owned insurance company, and named this platform as ePGS. So this new platform has been designed and enabled for centralized collection and payment of the corporation with a high level of bank integration. And this system can also provide self-servicing capabilities under which corporate customers can view their data. Also, they can initiate processes and also enable them to track. Chairman of LIC is M.R. Kumar. And few days back, RBI has removed IDBI Bank, which is completely owned by LIC, from its PCA framework. What is PCA? Prompt Corrective Action Framework. So actually it is a type of framework under which banks which have weak financial metrics are kept under regulation by the central bank, which is RBI. So this bank has been removed after 4 years as a result of its improved financial performance. Apart from it, central government has informed the Lok Sabha in March that LIC is not being privatized. So this answer was in a response to a supplementary question which was asked during the question hour at Lok Sabha. Question number 8. Which country holds the G20 presidency in 2021? So this time the host is Italy, and recently it has hosted the G20 Labour and Employment Ministers meeting in the hybrid mode. Apart from it, G20 Education Ministers meeting was also hosted by Italy in blended mode. So India's Union Minister for Labour and Employment, who is Santosh Gangwar, delivers the ministerial address on declaration and EWG priorities. Now Italy was host for few other events. For example, it hosts the Global G20 Health Summit along with European Commission. And also Italy is to host COP26 along with UK in Glasgow, which is a city in Scotland, in the month of November this year. Now COP26 was also in news because Attenborough has been appointed as People's Advocate for Climate Change. So do remember that G20 presidency comes to Italy this year. And talking about BRICS, for the 2021, the presidency comes under India. And now whatever event or whatever conferences would be held under BRICS, it would be presided by our India. Talking about BRICS, 5 countries are there in it: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. South Africa is the latest one to join it, as it has joined it in 2010. Also, BRICS Foreign Ministers meeting was held in June month, and first ever BRICS Employment Working Group meeting was also held. Can you tell me where does the headquarters of BRICS lie? Please write in the comment section if you know. Question number 9. Union Cabinet of India approved agreement with which Caribbean country for tax information exchange? So the Union Cabinet has approved an agreement between India and St. Vincent and Grenadines for the exchange of tax information and assistance in the collection. So this agreement between India and St. Vincent will help in facilitating sharing of information held by the banks and other financial institutions, and it would include various type of information exchange like legal and beneficial ownership. Now one mountain is very famous from St. Vincent. It is Los Soufriere volcano. So this volcano was dormant since 1979, but now it has become active and has been erupted many times during these years. Capital of St. Vincent is Kingstown and the Prime Minister is Ralph Gonsalves. Coming to last question, which Indian institution releases periodical data on household financial savings? So this data has been released by recently RBI, and as per the previous estimates released by the RBI, household financial savings fell for the second consecutive quarter to nearly 8.2% of the GDP in the third quarter of 2020. So the ratio of household deposits to GDP also declines to 3% in the third quarter from 7.7% in the previous quarter. Now recently RBI was in news because it has approved Central Financial Services to take over Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank. Also, according to RBI, India's foreign exchange reserve has reached to $600 billion mark, and with this India has come to 4th position among the list of largest forex exchange reserve, and this time it was tied between India and Russia because Russia has also more or less the same forex reserve. Also recently RBI has appointed its 4th deputy governor, who is T. Ravi Shankar, and also it has extended the term of M.K. Jain, who is already a deputy governor there, for a period of 2 years. The 3rd deputy governor of RBI is M. Rajeshwar Rao and the 4th one is M.D. Patra. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions. So please do not cheat and be honest with yourself. At the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.